Okay, checking the audio. Okay, checking the audio. Oh, there we go, there we go. Now we're good, now we're good. Alright, cool. Alright, so in case this didn't record, thank you for joining me at Lost in Space and Space Engineers, and we're gonna go ahead and get started. I think the goal right now, I think what we want to do is we're gonna try to get as much more material as we can get off of the ship and see what its respawn window is. I want to try to get some more materials if we can. So let's see here. What is our respawn? We've got literally like a minute. Oh my gosh. Alright. So since we got a minute, we're going to jump over here. We're going to zip down here. We're going to go down here and see if we can get more of these. We're going to try to take as many of these as we can in 1 minute. Because I want to be able to get, you know, a bunch of plates and stuff like that. You know, pipes and motors and all that stuff. And try to see if we can get as much as we can get, you know. She's going to disappear, and then we'll get to work to building our ship. Let's see if we can get some more materials. I'm looking for anything else that we can grab. I'm trying to see if there's any kind of like cargo pods or anything like that we can snatch up in the short amount of time we got going on. Oh wait, you know what we could do? We could grab a few more engines. That's always welcome. Okay, we'll grab 2 more engines. And then we'll grab more material from one of these.
Inventory full. Inventory full. Inventory full.
Alright, let's go ahead and jump out of here. We got 27 seconds until we run out of time. Oh no. Alright, so let's go ahead and jump out here. We're going to go ahead and let's quickly... I'm pretty sure when I turn around it's going to be gone, but... Oh, come on. Seriously, dude? Oh, I felt the stutter. And it's gone. But look at that. We have all those materials there. So let's go ahead and gather up our materials. That was one of the things I wanted to do when we were grinding stuff down, is try to grab as much material as we could. So let's go ahead and see about getting those materials, and then we're going to go ahead and proceed to start building our ship.
Inventory full.
Wow, there's a lot of reactor components there. Now, some of these are... we're not going to really have reactors because we didn't salvage any small grid reactors, and we didn't break down the large grid reactor for that purpose. However, the thing is that I kind of wanted to have some material we could trade once we get to a trade station, because I think I have economy going, but I might not.
Inventory.
And even if I don't, we can still break it down. So, where's my ship? Where you go? There you are. Alright, so let's go ahead. We're going to keep throwing this stuff inside of here for now. We do have enough material to go ahead and set up. Now, to generate power, that's going to be the tricky part. Yeah, we need a solar panel, really, and truthfully, that's what we need. Now, where do those materials go? Where are the materials? Did they despawn or something? Oh. Oh, there they are. Okay, cool. I knew they were out here somewhere. So let's go ahead and start collecting some more material.
Inventory full.
Wow, that's a lot of reactor components. Uh-oh. Explosive weapons, explosive shipment. I don't care about what comes up as long as it's not going to disturb me. I don't care. I do care if it's going to disturb me though, because, you know, obviously we don't want to be dealing with anything, and trying to get out of here under these circumstances is going to be challenging. So, yeah, explosive shipment. Let's see. I'm not going to be worried about, let's see, we'll go ahead and grab that. And we'll grab the girders. I don't know. Okay, we got those. Definitely gonna grab those. And those. Okay. Definitely grab that, that, and that. And that. Okay. Oh yeah, for sure. Alright, so let's go ahead and alright, so we need to start thinking about building our ship. Okay, so let's take a look at our power situation. Oh, we're doing really good. Alright, cool. We have the small reactors on this ship, and I'm really hoping that those are going to provide us with enough power to get our main ship's batteries charged up until we can figure out an alternative power source. Like, yeah, something like that. Some sort of alternative. We do have some of these fun little programmable blocks, which per the AI crew rules, I don't know that I actually put those in place for this playthrough. That would mean that I could use those for that, but I don't know that I have those on there. So this had a large reactor, but we got enough materials. We could probably tear some of the reactors out of here and upgrade them to larger ones, but I don't know. We'll figure it out when it comes to it. There really wasn't a significant power source that we were going to keep. Alright, well, let's go ahead and get the ship started here. Now, how do I want to do this? Maybe what I'll do is, let's see here. See, the problem is if I do it... Oh, wait. I could... Oh, I know what I'm going to do. Alright, so this is what we're going to do. We have material. So let's go ahead and drop off the material that we don't need right now. And we're going to put those in a large container here. So we're not going to need that, that, or that. We will start with that, not that or that. Nope, nope, nope. There we go. Okay. Now let's go ahead and zip out here and continue to grab some more materials. I want to get all my materials in place. So let's go ahead and get all those in place. And this is those reactor components. That's a lot of components. I don't know that I really want to tangle with all of that, honestly. I never really put a rule in place for the for upgrading, because on my rules you can go down but not up. But I don't know. For this playthrough, I kind of don't want to do that.
Inventory full.
Alright, we'll get the grids back up here. We don't need those right away. We're going to go ahead and we'll set up the we'll set up one of the batteries, and that will be the power. For, oops, didn't want to do that. Oh well. Kind of wanted to keep my plates intact so I could, you know, lay out our plan here. Where is that pile of material at? Oh, good gravy. You might notice I'm shifting from side to side. That's so I can see where the small materials are. I lose track of them in the void of space pretty easy. Ah, there they are. You can always tell when you move side to side, if there's something that's static, not a star, it's not gonna move. It's gonna, you know, you're gonna make it move, or it'll appear to move. And that's how you can spot something floating in this void. See, like right now you got this out here, so I think I wasn't gonna really worry about it too much, but let's go ahead and grab some of those. We can break those down, and that's probably why we should take them. Everything can be broken down and utilized as components for something else. So, yeah. Let's go and drop that in there. We'll drop that in there. That's going to take forever. Let me see. What is the breakdown for a reactor? Oh, that's iron and silver? Oh, nice. Well, that means they could be turned into iron plates. If I cannot lose it again.
Energy low.
Well, I'm not going to screw with it anymore. I'm over screwing with that. Okay. So this is the battery we're going to pull right here. And that's going to be our first battery, and it will be the battery that we're going to load up with the power. Let's see here. How are we going to... We've got this attached to that right there. And we have a conveyor located here. Do we have another conveyor mounted on here somewhere else? I'm looking to see if we've got another... Oh, we do have another connector. Outstanding. Okay, great. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to take this connector. And let me think here for a second. We're going to use this connector as our starting point. And we won't necessarily have to worry about power, because we're going to connect it right here, and that is going to be connected to the aft portion of the ship. I have an idea of how I want this ship to be, and I think we're going to set this up. This won't actually be conveyed into anything. We're not going to conveyor lock it into anything. Instead, we're just going to line it up like so. No, I don't want to connect it. I just want to... I want this to connect with there, and then we're going to go ahead and build what we need framework by framework around it.
Energy critical.
There we go. Alright, cool. Alright, so now that's connected, we can build our ship off of that, and we'll keep that in the aft section. We just got to make sure these things stay away. So the idea I have for this ship is I need to have a ship that I want to be able to have a docking bay so that our muskrat can come in, and then so let's see, hold on a second here, guys. Alright, so let's see. So I'm thinking, I have an idea on how I want to have this. I want to be able to have the I want to have the thrusters on the starboard and port sides kind of in an outsetted kind of nacelle situation, and then I want to have it be kind of cylindrical with a little bit of an aerodynamicity to it, but I want to have the hangar bay center mass in the back. And I want to have this ship to be able to go in and come out, and I want that hangar bay to be big enough that this ship can actually comfortably go in, dock, and then come out, dock and come out. And that way we can have this as our transport ship, our atmospheric ship, whatever we need to have on that. And then I'm thinking, I'm toying with the idea of making this really easy when we go to these planets and just have like a drop beacon. But I don't know, it might be also really cool to land and build a beacon with a bunker and stuff like that. Maybe make it so that you have to, you know, have basic amenities for one person and have a beacon set up like that. But we could also build something from orbit that drops. So I haven't decided which way to go. But we still need to have this smaller ship to be able to get around, to get to salvages and stuff like that. So this larger ship will be our base of operations. It'll have our respawn point and things like that. So the idea, of course, being that we're going to begin running the baseline off of this here. So that being said, I want to have a central, one of my things I like the most is to have a central line, like a keel, and then have like it set up so that that keel is where the ship comes off of. Everything else is kind of the basic idea, but I like having a conveyor line to be that keel, simply because that allows for a lot of below deck transfers that will allow for things like our food production and stuff like that, which is what we want to have on this ship also. So, that being said, it might actually not be a bad idea to leave this connector in there and have this connector at the bottom of the flight deck. So, but we don't really have enough materials, I think, to run those connectors. So I think what we want to do is get a baseline with some. Let's see, where is it? We're gonna do some armor, light armor. We'll do baseline light armor like that, and we'll just run it out. So 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Alright, so we got this baseline right there. Now, I'm looking at this here, and I'm seeing it, and I'm thinking this is probably... Let's see here. Oops, don't want that. I want this. Alright, so I look at this and I think, alright, so we got 1, probably 2, maybe 3, maybe 4. Probably about 4, I would say, maybe. 4 of these blocks long. And probably about, what? Hold on. Probably 1, 2, 3, probably about, yeah, it's probably about maybe 5 by 4, something like that. So I'm thinking we can always rearrange this with some greeble and stuff like that, but we want to get a basic line. So I'm thinking, well, we've got that is going to be the part that sticks out of the flight deck, and then we're going to go ahead and place a block there to indicate this is where the door is going to be on the flight deck. And then we're going to take it back all the way to, say, here. Okay, so that's going to probably be, we'll say that's about where the flight deck is going to end. Alright, and then we're going to take this is going to be, we'll have this area here. So we're going to take this a little further forward. Let's get a little bit forward here. And we'll run it out to about here. Where, I mean, we don't want it to be super small, but we also don't want it to be like wicked huge. And we'll have like living areas and stuff like that in this basic area here. We'll begin to like build out some of this stuff. So let's see here. If this is going to be our, if this is going to be where we're going to put the, we can run the conveyor down inside of it too. So I'm thinking it's going to need to be probably about. Let's see, we're gonna run, we want the whole thing to be open. Yeah, I think that's probably good enough. That should be wide enough to be able to bring it in. So we'll definitely do that. Alright, and then, let's see here. Yeah, we'll go out to there. That makes a good flight deck right there. Alright. Alright, so we got a flight deck like that. So that looks about right. That looks I'm looking at the ship there, I'm looking at that, and that looks like a pretty good size hangar. And plus, it does allow for us to use, we have only so many, we've got 5 doors, and that would definitely cover that front cross there, would be 5, and that would give us the ability to have it 4 high, which gives us plenty of room for that fine ship to go through, so that's okay. Alright, so that being said, let's go ahead and look at what we're going to be doing over on this side. That's going to be the outer wall there, and so probably going to need to go and do something along the lines of, let's see, well, we're going 1 square thick, but we're going to change this, so it's going to be kind of, we'll set it up so it's kind of like this. And then that way, and of course we can come in here, we'll do some streamlining and stuff like that. I just want to flesh out the basic outline of how this ship's frame is going to go for the lowest part of the deck. And of course this will change because we're going to have other things that are going to be involved here too. So that's going to be the hangar deck right there. And then we'll move forward up here. We'll have our so I'm thinking we're going to have a main line right here, and we can set up our industrial stuff on either side, and then go further for living area up here, and then we've got command deck forward. We also have to deal with where we're going to put the, I'm thinking we'll put the jump drive probably in the lower part. So we could conceivably put the jump drive at the bottom of the command of the hangar deck, but I don't really like that idea because that's going to make it a little bit more of a challenge as far as trying to do certain things, because you know we've got to do conveyor lines and stuff like that. So, but I think that's going to work really well for what we have in mind, and I think over here is where we're going to put the thrusters. We're going to continue to work on a lateral line here, so I'm thinking thrusters will come out. So probably going to angle it up would be my guess. So we'll go like this and do like something like this maybe. Yeah, I like that. And go, actually, you know what? We can go center and go down too. Actually, that's actually really cool. If we center down, that would work really well. This is kind of like our main decking floor, and then we just kind of go up and down from there, which is why I think we need to go ahead and set up the I'm going to set up the thrusters right here, and we'll start with that set right here. And we're going to go with a thruster pack that's a vertical thruster. So how many thrusters are we going to put in the back end? I'm going to try to go for 6, I think. We have enough to do it, so let's go with 6. It's the same assembly that we have set up on our on the small muskrat, so this design is slightly larger version of the same kind of thing. And I like having the up and down kind of stack. I think it looks really cool. And this leaves enough room for us to put some more if we want over here as well. Let's go ahead and get a little bit more out on the structure here. We'll go, let's see, we'll take this out here, to here, to here, and we'll go to here, and take it to there. Okay. And then we'll have forward, we'll have braking thrusters right here. 2 sets, so we'll go up on this one, and then we'll do the same thing on the other side. So let's go ahead and do that, and that'll give us our kind of smallish nacelles, which is kind of what I like. I've always kind of liked that idea. I thought it looked really cool that way, so that's what I think we're going to do here. And for this playthrough, I did not want to take a large grid ship and convert it. That is absolutely no go. Not interested in doing that because I want to be able to do something original. So we've got that like that. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to bring in now. I want to be able to have. Let's go ahead and get. Actually, you know what we're going to do? We're going to go ahead and just put these engines in place. Why not? Might as well take. As we put stuff in here, we might as well load it up. So let's do it. Let's get it locked in place and get it put away, you know, might as well. And we should probably get the batteries in place too. So, alright, and then
Energy low.
Alright, so we'll go ahead and put, let's go with, let's see here. Alright, we're gonna go with movement and go here. We're gonna go here, and then we're gonna go here. And we'll do the same on the other side. The hangar deck's basically going to be where the wings are going to be situated for thruster control and stuff like that. And I will run those out and give it a flat look, so it'll look kind of really cool that way. And let's see here. We're going to go ahead and we'll go with down here. We'll go with up here. Okay. Cool. That way we've got our, it's basically going to be like a big thruster bank on either side is what I'm thinking. And then, let's see, we'll incorporate some downward thrusters, maybe right here. No, downward thrusters, we'll actually put those in, like, right, downward thruster here. And do another downward thruster here. Maybe? Does that look good? Or should we go with keep it all still in the nacelle? Yeah, it might be better just to keep it all in the nacelle here. Yeah, I like that idea a lot, actually. Yeah, we'll do that instead. Although, we might want to put some up front just so that we have like one in every direction. And that might actually be smart, so... yeah. Alright. Alright, so let's go ahead and we'll do that there. And that goes there. Alright, cool. Yeah, see, they're trying to keep station keeping good on that as much as possible. I get it. It's tricky. It's very tricky. Alright, so now that we have that in place, that's going to be straight across there. So what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and... where is our doors? There you are. And I personally like the Warfare hangar doors that have the window. That's my personal preference, so that's what we're going to go with here. And there we go. That gives us our straight across door. So we're going to go ahead and pull these. Uh-oh. Let's get up here and get this fixed. Yeah, she's having trouble holding the the power is going crazy because we are really struggling with trying to maintain station holding. I get it. It's really hard. So we've definitely got to get a battery in place over here. That way we can share the power load and it won't be as bad. So let's go ahead and get the door in place here and then do final grid stuff here in a second. Alright, cool. Let's go ahead and get that. Where's that battery at? There was a battery. Where are you at? There. Where is that battery that I was going to put in there? There was a battery here somewhere. Ah, there you are. Alright, we're going to get that battery put in place. And that battery, we're going to actually stick it... well, first of all... yeah, we're going to put it right... I don't really want to put it in the floor, but I feel like that's kind of where we're going to be headed with that, so let's not put it in the floor. Let's go with light armor, and we're going to go with probably this wide here. Go that wide there. And we're going to go there. There. Alright, so we're gonna go ahead and I think we could put it right here. And it should be okay, but I don't know. Maybe I should put it here. Yeah, we'll put one battery here. This will be one of our batteries, and we'll put both batteries here on either side. I'm going to turn them to Warfare batteries simply because, honestly, I kind of really like the Warfare batteries. I think they look way better. Really cool, actually. Now, if we set the Warfare battery here on there like that, then we can have other things around it and kind of have it be a cubicle there where you can go into and do some stuff. So let's go ahead and get this battery fixed. I put the other one there because we're going to pull the other battery and put it here. So let's go ahead and get some more materials and see about getting this battery in place. Let's see here. Alright, and then where's the other batteries? Ah, there you are. Oh, snap. We're going to have to get to you in a minute because you're kind of occupied at the moment, so that's okay. Now we're going to go ahead and get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Alright, cool. That's enough to get a battery set, so let's go ahead and get a battery set on this grid. Alright. Now let's go ahead and do the next thing, which is going to be station keeping with all of these different deals. Let's go ahead and we're going to do this in such a way as that we can angle all of them around in a particular fashion. And I think also the best thing too is we need to get the gyros in place as well. Alright, now we're gonna Alright, so now we're gonna go over here. We only really need to get these ones on this side set up, and then we'll transfer over 2 gyros, one on either side, get those up and running. Alright, and then let's see here. Okay, we'll take that one. Alright, and then we'll do... And we can slap a gyro right between those two motors right on the side there, and be able to cover it with steel if we wanted to. But I think I want to be able to put those in a slightly different location. I think. Oh, what do we got there? Mobile utility platform. That's pretty cool. Yep, I got you. I got you, suit lady. I know. All right, let's get up here and get some energy. I know everybody's working really hard. She's really doing a tough job trying to stay stable. Oh wait, how are we doing on... Oh yeah, we got uranium... Well, I can't trust that uranium status. That uranium status marker, that's not trustworthy at all, but, you know. Do the best you can, that's what they say. Alright, so we're going to come over here. We got one going that way, one going down, one going back. Let's get one going forward. And then we'll get one going another direction too, and that'll be good. Let's see here. All right. Let's go ahead and get this out of there. Now let's see here. Where is the next one that I can take without screwball and stuff? I think it's this one here.
Inventory full.
Alright, so let's go ahead and get this one set up here. And then we're going to zip over here and do this. We'll finish these off in a little bit. And then we'll go ahead and hit this one here. And this will give us a direction on all of those, and then we'll go ahead and transfer over the gyros. And yeah, that's how that's going to go. Alright, so that should stabilize things a little bit easier. Let's take a look. Yeah, see, this is much better. Now we have thrust in all directions, and she can stabilize a lot better. Okay, good. Stable platform is always best. So I'm thinking the large cargo pod can go on the side here, with the opposite being the refinery can go on the opposite side from the cargo position. So I'm thinking we could actually put the cargo pod here. So, oh wait, do I have any? I'm gonna need some, yeah. Oh wait, I've got more materials here for these things. So let's go ahead and might as well get those in place. Get those thruster assemblies put in there. All right, so let's see here. So I'm thinking we'll go ahead and get some. I want to get the material for, get 100 of those, and now we can lay out more of the outline here of what we're doing. And that's going to be, we want to set this up so that the cargo goes here. So let's see here. Let's see, we've got large cargo. Okay. Now we're going to make all of the cargo stuff yellow. We'll paint the outside with colors and stuff like that later, but I wanted to get the equipment in place and have it in proper color. We're going hazard armor with that. So let's go ahead and do this one here with a large grid. Now, I'm thinking, at first I was thinking we do it like this. And I'm thinking that because I can access it front and back. Let's take a look. If I do this, then I have access points top and bottom. And then in the back we can access it by this. But we would have to run a conveyor line out here and then across the floor. But we could do that, and that would work because that's a center line right there. And then we're going to go lower docks down here. Everything else is lower down. I like that. That works really well. And then we can put the refinery opposite that, because the refinery is going to be pretty heavy too. That's the two heaviest things that we're going to have on this vessel. And I think that if we do it like this, that's going to keep it down pretty good. But we could go higher. We can elevate it. But I feel like that might be good. Let's see, what do we got? We got, yeah, it's above. Yeah, that's above. Okay. I want to see if there's, oh yeah, there's an upper one there too. So that end down there has a above and below conveyor location. And if we do, but if we do it like this, if we put it right here, then we rotate it like this. If if we set it up right here like that, we could run the conveyor line in and we could set all the other stuff up just fine. If we do it like that, we have a conveyor access point there, an access point there, and the conveyor access point will be right down there. And that'll bring it up to the same level as that is on that side, which is fine. And if we do that, but on the other hand, if we drop it down or reverse it and swing it in, we can be able to put some other stuff on top. I like that idea actually much better. So let's do that. I think we're going to go ahead and we're going to go with, we're going to rotate this like so. And we put this down on the bottom like that. And if we do it like that, then we have this down on the lower end, which is fine because that's how we're gonna have a lower level, but because this is the main deck. And then I'm thinking if we do it like this, then we can put any kind of other modules on the outside here. Then we can put the assembler up on top, which is actually not a bad idea. And then if we put the assembler up on top, then that allows us to have an assembler line, and we could set up a cargo container right here. But we're going to need to make sure that this area is airtight for sure. But that's okay. I think we can pull this off. As a matter of fact, if we put the assembler, can the assembler actually, I don't know the assembler can fit on here like this, no. But we can do the assembler across it like so. And if we do that, that would allow us an access point for the assembler even. Anyway, and if we set it up right there, then we could actually put it directly onto the refinery and just run it directly into it. Oh, I like that. And if we do it like that though, actually, there's no real bad way about it. But on the other hand, we could run it right on the end here. And if we set the assembler like so, we could run it through the floor all the way over to the cargo. Yeah, I like that too. Yeah. But we wouldn't have access to it though if we did that, unless we did this. And it would leave this upper area up here available for whatever else we wanted to put up there too. That would work. But I also am thinking that maybe we want to have, well, we are width-wise kind of sitting on the edge with this cargo pod like that though. Yeah. We could do an asymmetric connection. Oh, you know what we could do? We could set up the cargo pod in the middle, have the walkways on the sides. Actually, that's brilliant. Oh, I like that. Okay, let's do that. Alright, so say we do this. Say we go with the, okay, so say we do this. We're gonna, this is a temporary measure. We're gonna change this in once we get the cargo pod in place. Alright, so say we take this off of here. I kind of like this idea actually because this makes it asymmetric. And if we do it right here like here. Now, if we do it the way I'm thinking, we could actually do... What if we did this? What if we went and then we came out to here? Okay. Then here's where we put the... Now here we centralized the cargo pod, which is actually probably the heaviest part. Other than the refinery. So say we take this cargo and center it right here. Now if we set this up so that the smooth part is on the top, like that, then we've got the smooth parts on the sides, like right there and right there. Then we have the upper part here we can connect to turrets to the top. This can go to the turrets on the bottom. And then these ends we can do side. I like that. So that's what I'm thinking. I like this a lot, actually. Yeah. Yeah, this is really good. And then we can, that will keep our streamlining a little bit more, and then we can set up our refinery here.
Energy low.
No, I don't like that. That's not going to work. No, I mean, it's great of an idea, but I don't really want to have that set up quite like that. So I think asymmetric is probably our best bet. So let's go ahead and do this asymmetric thing here. We'll go ahead and we've got the battery in place here. We'll run it through the cargo area back there. So we'll set this thing up. We'll do an asymmetric cargo pod thingy going on right here like that. Alright, so that's asymmetric off to the side like that, and that's fine. And then we'll run some light armor blocks along here. And then here's where we can run those up through there, around there, or actually probably not a bad idea to move it out away a little bit maybe. Let's see, if we run that conveyor line, it'll come over here. Oh wait, it's lined up on the, is that a battery? Oh, it is the battery it's lined up on. Oh, haha. Unless I put all 3 batteries across there. But yeah, that's not gonna work because it's lined up on a battery. Unless I put the battery here. But that's, yeah, I don't know. I don't want to center line it, that's the thing. Could always do, oh, idea. Why does it have to be lined up like that? It's 5. Okay, so maybe rotate it? No. I like it better like this.
Critical.
And I like the vertical offset of it, so yeah. Yeah, we'll go with that. And so that means that we can always do a conveyor situation that goes out, but here's the problem, we have that there. We have to move that over to here. But I don't want a weight balance issue, so maybe we should do this. Maybe we'll go like this. And we'll do one more out, like so. And then we'll put it in here. There we go. That's gonna work better. Yeah, because I'm really thinking it's actually gonna work a lot better if I can run the conduit lines, you know, a certain way. Oh, we gotta get charged up. Okay, we're gonna get charged up. We've been pretty much ignoring everything that pops up because honestly we don't really need to worry about it. We just don't. So let's go ahead and get that set up. We'll transfer over the now this is gonna throw our weight off a lot right now because we're putting these big things in, and that's why it's having a little hissy fit, because these do produce weight, and that weight is well, it's kind of happening. So yeah, but I'm thinking we're gonna go ahead and put the refinery here, and we're gonna line it up same as this so that it can be lined up right. But you know what? I'm really seriously thinking we put the assembler here too. So if we set up the assembler right on the back side of like the refinery here, I think that would really go a long way. Or maybe put it, we'll actually put it up here. So we set the refinery up right here. We could actually put the assembler over on this side, honestly. But anyway, so let's go ahead and do this refinery. So I'm thinking we're going to line it up so that if we do it like this, then all the conveyor connection below are going to be inside. Yeah. Alright, so let's do this. We're going to go with I want to have it so that the okay, so we're going to put it in here, and let's go ahead and get that in place. Yeah, I like this idea a lot better. Yeah. But, yeah. I'm thinking about making it an inline one, though. But here's the problem with inline. I can't access it outside of itself. But I guess it doesn't really matter. As long as I have a terminal to access stuff, that's what matters, right? But, I don't know. I'm really torn, because if I set it up like this, I can do a terminal onto it, and then actually this is really smart if I do it like this, because then I can set up 2 terminal access points on this side too, where I can pull stuff. But here's the thing, I don't know. Now if I line it up with this across here, or let's see, I don't know. This is the area where we can put a bunch of stuff on top of here. But on the other hand, it might be better to have those on the bottom, actually. Have it be like blocked out on the bottom and have those things down there. I don't know. That is the question, isn't it? Yeah, I think I like that idea. I can always change it around later, but I like the idea of having it be in such a way is that if I want to expand on it, I can. So maybe yeah, that's better. Yeah, we'll go with that. And then this is, yeah, it's about the same. And then we can go ahead and we could actually run, let's see. Well, we can figure out where the assembler goes in a minute, I guess. Alright, what else we got that's got to go on here? We do need to get this part up, so let's go ahead and get some more. We're going to actually use some interior block on this. I kind of like that idea, maybe. I don't know, maybe do an interior block here? No. Probably should just use light armor. Oh, wait. We want to change the color scheme because now we're getting away from equipment. And we're going to lay out more blocks. So let's go ahead and go with that. And then let's, it's going to be kind of like a dark looking thing. Alright. Get that up like that. Man, that is tall. But if we do it like this, let's see, that is about how tall it'll be once I finish those doors. Wow. Do I really need it that tall though? Kinda do. Ship's kinda big. Alright, well. Yeah, see, it's really, really tall. So I don't know. I think we might want to go with something a little bit less obvious. That's what I think. Yeah, I think a little less obvious would be good. That's pretty tall. That's exceptionally tall. But on the other hand, I don't know. How tall is this thing? Let's see here. There's one. Well, it would be about too high to go in there too. That'd be a snug fit if I took it in there that way. At least if I did it this huge, it would probably be an easier fit. But man, that is some tall shit. Look, it's gonna be pretty dang tall if I do it that way though. Compared to the lower profile of this vessel as it is. So I think we're gonna go ahead and we'll go with... Let's go ahead and go with this. We'll go down. And then we're gonna go ahead and do this. Alright, so that's how high this thing's gonna be. Go ahead and fill these in. Alright, so, well, that's pretty tall, but that's not nearly tall enough. I definitely need to make it taller. Yeah. But that's okay, because we still have a couple other things we need to put in here. So she's going to be kind of a big, tall girl, but that's okay. Let's go ahead and get our structure in place. We want more hangar doors that are windowed. The thing is the amount of the thruster coverage on that is just insane, though. But that's pretty big. I mean, that's a very big hangar door. I mean, dude, that thing is huge. But I guess, you know, if that's what we're doing. That would mean that our center line would be, we're 3 up, 3 down, so actually center line would be right about here. This would be the center line right here.
Energy low.
No, would be right Yeah, so did a slightly offset. So actually this was should actually be over on top of this here. So these things should be side by side, which makes sense. Man, which is actually fine because of the other things going on. Yeah. Let's see here, if we do it like that, where is that, where is the, let's see, how does that, can I get the side angle on that? Let's see. Yeah, that's what we want right there. We could actually run that right to here. And we could butt that up to here.
Critical.
Oh, stop it, suit lady. Bam. That's exactly what we want right there. Side by side, center mass, that'll set things up nicely. And then we have our doorway here into the happy land of this. We can reconfigure the, yeah, we reconfigure things around that hangar bay. This is going to be a bigger ship than I expected, but that's okay. It'll be a work in progress as we go. So that's okay. We actually, I'm thinking if we can make it through this this particular one, we'll carry it on to a couple of other systems on our way to attempt to make it back to the home system. So let's see here. Yeah, I kind of like this. This is a really good idea. So we're going to go ahead and let's see. We can set up, see all these thrusters here and stuff. We're going to have to move them around. But that's okay. Let's see, we have, if we do this, if we put right here, we could actually put the assembler right here. If we did that right. And that would actually be pretty cool. Yeah. But then we have the battery here, which would be in the way, but we could do a conveyor line around it. Yeah, that would work. Of course, we could put the assembler right here. And then have it set up. Oh, yeah. Oh, this is a brilliant idea here. What about, okay, so how is that? Let's take a look at this assembler here. Well, actually, this is all part of the hangar bay here, so we probably shouldn't mess with it too much. We can use that for something else. Alright, so we'll figure out the assembler situation here in a minute. We're going to go ahead and get a bit more light armor blocks in place. Alright. Okay. Okay, there's the basic outline for that part of it. And then we have this here. Let's see. Alright. Okay, so that gives me a basic outline of what our ship's gonna, how this ship's gonna be kind of like. Alright, and this gives me a center line here too. And we'll have the cockpit kind of raised and up right about here is where I'm thinking. And then this is going to make it so that this part here we're actually going to be kind of elevated. And then we'll pull these out a little bit more and lift them up and put them in better positions frame-wise. So I think that's going to work really well. We are going to need to set up a walkway, but I'm thinking we could use corridors on the sides because we could leave divots out for the to be able to see, you know, side quarters as opposed to a central corridor, which would be, you know, that would be great, but it's not really that feasible. Let's go ahead and get the doors in place. And that way we can go ahead and start placing some of these thrusters, get them situated.
Inventory full.
The other thing is once we have the hangar set up and we have a connector in place, we could actually move the muskrat into the actual ship as we build it, and then things could be a little bit more, I don't know, a little bit more the way it should be, sort of thing, you know? So we'll see. Alright. That's a big door. But a large door like that isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's really big though. Alright, so we're going to space these a little further up. let's put, let's see here. We're going to want to put we'll do the same thing here too. Alright, and then that will allow me to be able to put a thruster. We'll set the thrusters up on the sides here. So let's go ahead and we'll go with, let's do a
Energy low.
and then let's do a, we'll pull up, let's see, we'll do that right there. And let's drop down here, we'll grab this one. Okay. Yeah, we have that on either side. Alright, so I'm thinking that we probably don't want this one here. Probably want to go with, well, actually,
Energy critical.
seriously? Fine, critical energy. That's how you want to play this game. No problem. Then with critical injury or critical energy my ass over here like this. How about that? Alright, so here we go. I'm not going to be patient. I think I see how I want this configured. When you're building ships like this, it's like the whole process is a matter of trial and error and figuring out what works and what doesn't. That's essentially what it is, and what looks good and what doesn't look good, that kind of thing. Alright, so that gives me a 3 up, 3 down kind of setup. So we're going to go over here to structure, and we're going to go in here, and we're going to locate the pipeworks, because I like the pipeworks. I think it's really cool looking, and I think in this circumstance, I think it will look really, really cool between those two and between that over here. I think it's going to look really neat, because it's going to look kind of like, you know, they got pipes going to different things, and I think that's kind of, I don't know, I'm weird that way, but I think it's kind of cool. So let's go ahead and go back over here and get movement, and let's go ahead and match the same thing we did on that side here. Alright, and then we're going to go ahead and pull that off, and we're going to go with oops. There we go. There we go. I kind of really like it. I think it's going to look really cool. So let's go ahead and first of all, we need to get this gat off of here. And that gat is going on here. Let's see here. Yep, we're going to put that gat right on here. Alright, so there's that. Then we're going to come up here. So we'll change that GATS situation here soon enough. I just want it out of the way because I want to get to these two thrusters right here. And I'm going to put those right in here. The idea here is I want to try to get this back end put together and then work my way forward, kind of putting things in place as I go. Uh-oh. How did I not get enough thrusters? Oh. Well, that sucks. I thought I had all the thrusters I needed. Apparently I don't. Huh. That's a problem, but it's not a problem we have to really be stressed about, so that's okay. We'll figure it out. Alright, so let's see here. Now these forward thrusters, though, let's see here. Actually, if we put that right on here, what if we did another pipe works? And let's see here. The reason why I'm putting another pipe works is because this is all potentially, you know, stuff that we could later on add more thrust to if we need it.
Energy low.
So we're going to go ahead and put that here. And then we're going to go like this. We're going to go up. One there. And we'll put one right here. There we go. Now that works nicely. And that center lines it perfectly up with this, and I like that. Yeah, that works really nice. I like that center line on that. Now that thruster can be there, but that one can't really be there. And I don't like it there, but I do like it right here. And another one right there. So we go with another side mount like that, okay. And then for now, let's see the vertical one, we're gonna have to take that up a little higher. probably about up to here. So let's go ahead. We need more steel plates for that. So let's go ahead and get some more steel plates. So for this episode, along with some of the more future episodes, we're going to probably be doing a lot more building. So yeah, that's what we got going on. Getting all this thruster assembly and stuff back in here. This is just our basic thruster assembly situation. So we're going to add more thrusters later on as we go to give it a little bit more
Energy critical.
A little bit more thrust and capability, but for now, this is absolutely okay. And I actually don't want this to be quite as... I kind of want a little bit less of an angle, but I guess I'm going to have that. We're going to do like a half block across the bottom here too. We're going to convert some of these things over to like other things, but for now, this is what we're working with. So let's see here. We got these angle here. Let's go ahead and clear this one out.
No energy.
Uh-oh. Can't be having the no energy thing. Alright. Okay, let's get out of here when we have we're done with the no energy thing. Alright, I want to get the rest of these thrusters in place. That is the goal. So let's go ahead and get a side thruster set up here. And then I'm gonna slap a gyro in here too. I think it would be really good. So let's see here. Alright, so now let's see here. We have our downwards there, but let's go ahead and where are we going to put our gyro? We're going to put our gyro right here. I think that's a perfect spot for it. It's just inside. I think it'll do the trick. We'll get other gyros, but for now, I think that's a good spot for it. So let's go ahead and get the gyros transferred over. And I like the idea of having one there. And having one... Well, we need to get the other side sorted, so let's go ahead and get the other side sorted. Alright, so we gotta make this side look like that side. It's always gonna be like that. Let's see here. Now, see, if we were in creative mode, then we could utilize that fun little ability of doing the same on both sides thing, but unfortunately, we are not in creative mode, and so therefore, we do not have that kind of option. We're gonna have to do this freehand. But that's okay, because you know that's kind of part of how the game is played, so. Alright, we're gonna need a vertical on here too. Let's see here. Alright, oops, we don't want angled, yuck, yuck, yuck. We don't want that. We want a full block. Alright, let's see here. Okay, so that's in place there. And that is in place there. Okay, good. So, go here. Okay. Now, we're going to run this down because we don't need that there. So we're going to go ahead and put that there. That there. Okay. And then now, we're going to put, let's see. We've got 1, 2. Okay. This is going to go up here for now. Until I move it. Okay, so that's going to go up here just for station keeping purposes. We'll move them around once we get the dorsal surface in place, and then we'll install these above, directly in line and above the ones that are going down. But for now, this is what we got to deal with. So now let's see here. The going down one, is that lined up? Yeah, that's lined up with the outside, so that's good. So right there. Alright, so we've got 2, one right here, and one right here. Okay? That's 2 on both of those locations, and we're going to go ahead and pull this one. Okay. So now we're going to have this one in place. This will maintain our station keeping still, so that's okay. But we definitely want, I'm thinking we need to get the rest of those thrusters over, but the other thing is we have all these guns, and we need to find a home for the guns, so we'll run the guns along the lateral side here temporarily. We can always move them later, but at least that'll get us set up. But right now, the goal here is to set this up so that we can have what we need for our, yeah, see, we want this side right here. See, we've got that on the outside, so we need to set that up right here. We need another one of those pipe works. I really like those. I think they're so cool. There's so many different blocks depending upon what DLC you get, so, but this one's really kind of cool because it just adds so much depth to your build. So let's go ahead and set that there, and then we're gonna go ahead and let's see, where's our movement?
Energy low.
I hear you, suit lady, but I'm ignoring you right now. We're in the middle of a build here. Don't disturb me, please. Alright. So now we're going to go ahead and, do we have stuff in there? We do. Alright, so let's go ahead and get that in there. Alright, that gets on there. And then we're going to go over here. We're going to empty this one out. Tear this down and replace it over to the one that's on the side. And then we'll fill it in so that it looks the same. And then that will be good. You know, building small grid and large grid really isn't that terribly different, but it does make a difference when you're thinking in the scales, and it's also when you're trying to work the physics because the mass is going to be so much heavier. Alright, so let's go ahead and set this with some more. Now these light armor blocks I'm throwing in here, that does not mean I'm going to keep them there. That's just taking up space so that I can be able to put other things in place of this. So it's kind of the whole point.
Critical.
I hear you, suit lady, but I'm also ignoring that. Alright, let's see, what do we got over here that's sitting like that? Alright, we got, okay, that's that, so this is all wide open. Okay, good. Now we can go ahead, hop down here, and now we can do what we wanted to do, which is put the other gyro in place. And I'm putting these like this because, well, actually, you know what? We're not going to do it like that. I like my gyros going all the same way, and I want to be consistent. So we're going to put this one here like that. And we're going to do the same thing with this one. And then we'll make a little service access area over here, and that'll be really cool. Now let's see, do I have any thrusters? No, I do not. Okay, cool. Just want to make sure I didn't like not fill in something over here. Alright, let's jump over here to where the gyros are. And we'll start with this one. And we'll transfer these gyros over, and then that'll maintain... Oh, snap. I keep forgetting that. Alright, come on. In we go. Alright. Yes, I'm aware, Suit Lady. I haven't even had... I'm running on no coffee and no food. It's like a hard work situation. So, yeah. Okay, I'm looking at this thing and it is not that. I think the script that is doing those screens is frozen. It's not working. So we'll have to change those. Because you can't use a script on the consoles. You can't. I mean, judging from the size of the ship and how long it's going to be, I mean, I don't know. We might tighten it up a little bit more. I don't know. It's looking pretty blocky, actually. Maybe I can extend out the length a little bit more. I don't know. We'll see. It's kind of, I don't know, looking kind of blocky, but we'll see how we do this. See how it goes together. Alright. But we got like this total back end here that's just something else. But anyway. Alright. Let's get these gyros in place. And then we got our big open bay here, and we can put like different things in here too. Besides just the ship, we can have shelves and stuff like that. It's basically a carrier base ship anyway, so it doesn't need to be pretty, it just needs to be functional. Alright, there's one gyro in place. Alright, let's go ahead and jump over here and get the other gyro. Alright, cool beans. This is coming along okay. I'm alright with this. Two gyros in place, and that's going to be nice. Now what I'm going to do though is I think I'm going to snatch one of the cockpits out of the inside of that and replace it with one of the cargo pods. That way I've got another cargo pod. I think ultimately the Muskrat's going to get all of those things replaced by cargo pods. More carrying capacity, but overall it's just going to be better. But in the meantime, we do have oxygen tanks. And the H2O2 gens, we got to figure out where those are going to go too. But we also need to figure out, you know, walkways and all kinds of stuff like that. So let's go ahead and put a plate here. Alright, I mean, this is a pretty broad open area. That's why I'm thinking maybe angle these a little bit more gentle out, maybe? We got the walkway here, but we could actually, if we're gonna do conveyoring here, then that means that we could do a walk up over on these, and then we could bring this down. Actually, this doesn't have to be so high. I mean, it does need to come out to a certain distance, but I'm thinking right about here. So let's go ahead and run a conveyor line right here. I mean, not conveyor line, but a armor block line, because that's going to make it so that we know the dimensions of the hangar bay is right here. And that's enough for the ship to land, I think. Yeah. Yeah, and then we can run the conveying out to here and here. And we go here to, let's go to conveyor lines. Alright, and we're going to rotate you there. And we're going to do a T intersection here. Like that. And we're going to run that as a straight one all the way down here. 1, 2, 3. Alright, and then this is where we'll put the conveyor connector. We'll do a floor mounted one, that way it's inset. Computer cancel. Alright, there's the connector that's going to go there. And then, you know what we can do? We can come down here, and then we can put leave this open, and we can put another connector down here. And have that connector actually be a connector for, actually we don't need this like that. That could be a connector for the, for drones. We could actually set a series of connectors and attach drones to the underside if we wanted to go that route, and that is always an option. So, but at least that gets us set up with that, and that's good. Okay, so that gives us our conveying lines to there and out here. And then, yeah. So, I'm thinking, actually, you know what we might do here? Is instead of doing a conveyor like that, let's do this instead. Let's do an actual conveyor junction. And then up here is where we'll put our cargo terminal, like so. And then we'll put another one right here. And that'll line up really nicely with different things that we want to access from inside of this location here, inside the hangar bay. And then here is where we'll put our exit points, which will be we're gonna need a fan too, so we're gonna need some conveying from up here. So let's see here. Yeah, we're definitely going to want to put an H2O2 gen up here. So this is where we'll put the H2O2 gen up on here, because that is going to give us the location for, we can just put that right there like so, and then that will allow us to have access to it from another deck level, potentially. Ground. See, on this level here is the ground level. Here, this will be lower deck. And then we actually, if we go with a conveyor line here, we can take this up, and I think, although, nah, use the H2O2 gen. I see how we're going to do this. We set this like that. That gives me access to the H2O2 gen. We actually have 2 of them, so we are setting them up. If we set them up side by side, like so, actually no. That's going to go there, and then we could take an H2O2 gen on this side if we wanted to. And do it on that end like that. And that could give us give access to two different sets. And then if we do that, we could run, or you know what, it's not going to matter which way that's facing, because we can always do it like this. Oh wait, no, that's an assembler. We could do the H2O2 gen that's like that, and we could shift it down like this. And if we do an angle like that, then we could run, perfect, we can run the tanks along this part here. So when we do the tanks, we do hydrogen tank like this. A lab, well, that's a small hydrogen tank lab. We do like an H2O2 gen set up like this. We could set this up like right on top of here, like so, like so. But if we do that, yeah, I like that. We can actually run piping over there. So we go we go logistics, and we go to here. We can actually set up a T intersection right here. And then do this. And rotate that place like that.
Energy
And then
low.
that means that I can set oxygen there and hydrogen here. Just like that. And that'll set them up perfectly. And then that also sets us up for a connector on top of here too. And then run 1, 2, 3. Alright, and that sets that all up for that. And then on this side here, and that is actually going to be good because that sets us for 1, center line, 2, and that's about where I want to be anyway. So we go one more up. 1, 2, and then we can set the weapons that go on the dorsal side in place too. 1 and 2. Alright, cool. And that clears these off so I can get these thrusters off. Ha! It's like a puzzle. It really truly is. And that takes care of those two things there. And then
Energy critical.
Yep, I hear you, suit lady. Okay, that takes care of that. And then now we're going to go over here and grab the tanks.
No energy.
Alright, we're gonna...
Health low.
Yep, I hear you. Alright, let's see where we're at here. Alright, in a couple of minutes we're gonna call it an episode. It's been a little bit of a long one, but it's been really good. Let's get these air tanks in place. We're gonna go ahead and get the rest of this stuff put over there, and then we're gonna call it.
Inventory full.
Alright, let's get these tanks over here. Now, where's the H2O2 gens? I think they're buried in here pretty far. Yeah, there they are right there. Yeah, they're pretty buried in there. We can go ahead and get this cargo. Wait, is there anything in this? Yes, there is. Okay. Okay, we'll grab one of the cargo containers. Let's go ahead and jump up here, take a look around, see what we got. Okay. What is that? That is a small cargo container. So let's go ahead and take this one. Cool. So we're gonna go ahead and drop down here. And we'll set these cargo containers in place because then we can put materials in there that we're not using. And that is golden. Alright, so, and then the rest of these materials are going to be for these ones here. Oops, ouch. Oops. Not really ready to do the refinery thing. Alright. So let's go ahead and drop those in there. And we'll drop these in here too while we're at it. And then we'll also drop 3 of those because we don't really need all that. Alright. So that's going to go ahead and end this episode. We got quite a bit done. We got the beginning of the ship. We do need to come up with a name for it, but it is definitely going to turn out to be one hell of a ship. We're definitely going to probably need some more thruster capability and a lot more power generation. That's okay, because that's all part of the fun of it. So we're going to go ahead and jump in our cockpit here, which is where we sleep, and we're going to fast a little bit because we didn't eat anything. Actually, you know what? We gotta do this right. So we're gonna go around and back. We're gonna grab some food. And first, before we do that, we're going to cut this free. Alright. Let's see where we got. We'll have an apple since we only, you know, we had a hard day. So let's go ahead and just take and have an apple. Gonna head out, come around, come up on the roof, have a sit down. We're gonna look over here at this planet, which is one of the planets we're gonna be going to. And then we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna eat said apple. Yummy. Crunch, crunch, crunch. It's a good day. It was a good day. Good bit of work. Alright, stand up. Gonna fly over here to our cockpit where we've been sleeping forever. And we're gonna go ahead and call it an episode. Thank you so much for joining me. And you know the deal, like and subscribe, all that fun stuff. And leave comments of things where you might think, you know, some ideas you might have for this potentially build, or maybe for the series. I'm really surprised we even made it this far, honestly speaking. I thought for sure we'd be toast by now. So we stand a really good chance to make it through this. So yeah, any ideas you might have, if you have ideas of a series or a particular scenario you want to see run or anything like that. This series was actually a suggestion by Minuteman Matt. He's on here frequently doing the live chat, so it was his idea, and shout out to you. Great idea. We're going to give this a go. But anyways, thank you so much for joining me, and I'll catch you next time on Space Engineers Lost in Space.